crispy bacon and block out those hot, buttery, flaky croissants. Croissants don't really make a sound, but if they did, for a breakfast that don't miss, Wendy's is that breakfast. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's $3 breakfast deal.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Select a request $3 breakfast deal to obtain discount. Not valid for a la carte or combo orders.
They try to grab him, but the kid...
We should probably drink these fast. Tube to tube.
Bravo!
For buying a treadmill?
You use the Quicksilver card from Capital One. It's simple, with no annual fee and unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere. That makes you the hero of every purchase.
Yeah.
And heroes don't take the stairs.
Is this a parachute?
What's in your wallet?
Name an ingredient you can see in this kind bar to win.
Almonds. I see almonds right there.
Yep, almonds. It's almost like the universe was talking to you.
Oh.
Here's your prize.
You grow your business with easy customizable themes that let you build your brand. Marketing tools that get your products out there. Yeah, way out there. Shipping solutions that actually save you time. And that's just the beginning. From startups to scale-ups, online, in person, and on the go. Shopify, your all-in-one commerce platform.
Amanda Nunes, the greatest women's mixed martial artist of all time.
She is just next level.
There is a new bantamweight contender. It's Rainey Aldana.
She believes this is her time.
Two of the very best, hoping to lead as the #1 contender.
Welcome to my house.
Do you listen to the TV on high volume or have trouble hearing conversations? Then you would benefit from hearing aids. Don't waste thousands on expensive hearing aids when you can get Nano's revolutionary technology for just $297. Don't be fooled by higher-priced hearing aids. The CIC Recharge is a true hearing aid, not an amplifier. With rechargeable technology many customers say is superior to more expensive models. Call now and get not one, but two Nano hearing aids for just $297. Plus, we'll add a portable charging case and ship your order absolutely free. The CIC Recharge has a tiny in-the-ear canal design that is nearly invisible. Why keep missing out on important conversations or waste thousands of dollars? Call and get two CIC Recharge hearing aids for only $297 and free shipping.
800-429-0962. Again, that's 800-429-0962.
Before these playoffs began, Caleb Martin was just a sometime starter, an undrafted hopeful waiting for his opportunity to shine. But by the end of Game 7 Monday, the Miami Heat forward had become a scoring machine and a household name.
Three to shoot. Martin dribbles left, fires, and swishes home another three.
Don't be surprised, people, if you're just tuning in and saying, who is this Caleb Martin? He's been doing this all series long.
Martin was such a steadying presence for Miami offensively that his His 26 points in Game 7 not only set a playoff career high, but they also marked the second time this series that he had 25 or more points. He didn't have a 25-point night this entire regular season.
They were going to make me earn their respect. I just kind of wanted to come in knowing I had to leave my mark on this series. That might have surprised y'all. To the untrained eye, he just looks like he's an undrafted guy who's been in the G League. Now he's here. I mean, if he ain't showed y'all now, he's going to be in this league for a long time.
If you're a real competitor, and it's in your soul, and that's what Caleb is, it's like his last breath on every single possession, and I love the guy for that.
While Butler ended up finishing one vote ahead of Martin for series MVP, Martin's teammates believe his effect on these past 7 games was no less diminished.
He is stealing the Celtics' souls here tonight.
Miami entered the Eastern Conference Finals with a 3% chance to win the series, according to ESPN Analytics, and will be the 3rd largest underdog heading into the finals in the last 20 seasons. Much of that is due to Miami playing 7 undrafted players in the postseason, the most for any NBA Finals team in the last 50 years. When asked about those undrafted heroes, Jimmy Butler said, "I don't call them role players. I call them teammates. We've got some real deal basketball players who can win games for us." Now he's hoping they can help him win 4 more games. In Boston, I'm Coley Harvey, ESPN.
He's on the track. He's at the wall. He leaps. See ya. A home run for Judge. Another one. He's done it again.
Cortez is very good when he doesn't have to face that lineup 3 times. And Aaron Judge now has 18 home runs in spite of missing 11 of the Yankees' 57 games played so far this season. He is pacing the AL. Freddie Freeman, meantime, extended his hitting streak to 19, capping a
He's at the wall. He leaps. See ya. A home run for Judge. Another one. He's done it again. 8-2.
That's how it sounded on the Yes Network as the reigning and defending AL MVP, who set the home run record with 62 last season and came within a few hits of the Triple Crown, homered for the 3rd time in 2 games. Yankees stretched their winning streak to 4 with a 10-2 win over the Mariners. Nestor Cortez is very good when he doesn't have to face that lineup 3 times. And Aaron Judge now has 18 home runs in spite of missing 11 of the Yankees' 57 games played so far this season. He is pacing the AL. Freddie Freeman, meantime, extended his hitting streak to 19, capping a 4-hit game with an 8th-inning home run, and J.D. Martinez went deep for the 3rd straight game. Dodgers beat the Nationals 9-3. The New York Knicks will not extend the contract of general manager Scott Perry, sources told ESPN, confirming multiple reports. Sports Center is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive can protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, RV, and more. In short, a lot of things. Bundle today at progressive.com. What do we consider a dynasty? He says that too much time passed between Kobe Shaq and Kobe Powell. And not only that, Phil Jackson, though he was a coach of both teams, left and then came back. I think that makes sense to say, no, those are two separate dynasties. Jay says, it's all part of the Kobe dynasty. Kobe, Phil Jackson dynasty. We're bringing this up because the Warriors just lost to the Lakers. Draymond has he can opt in, but he could also opt out this year from the Warriors. And I've always thought of the two players that are irreducibly the Warriors are Steph and Dre. And Bob Myers, the GM and architect of the whole thing, is not coming back. So is the Warriors dynasty over? Let's say Steph wins, but with a new cast of characters and a different GM, but
Vibes. With Off Clean Feel, I've got 8 hours of not sticky, fragrance-free protection. Get your pre-party protection on with Off Clean Feel. SC Johnson, a family company.
Imagine you're looking at a balancing scale with everything you do for other people on one side and on the other side. If it isn't balanced, maybe it's time to spend a little more time on you. And therapy is a great place to start. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist online who can help you find that balance and stick to it. Visit betterhelp.com/score to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/score.
He's on the track. He's at the wall. He leaps. See ya. A home run for Judge. Another one. He's done it again. 8-2.
That's how it sounded on the Yes Network as the reigning and defending AL MVP, who set the home run record with 62 last season and came within a few hits of the Triple Crown, homered for the third time in 2 games. Yankees stretched their winning streak to 4 with a 10-2 win over the Mariners. Nestor Cortez is very good when he doesn't have to face that lineup 3 times. And Aaron Judge now has 18 home runs in spite of missing 11 of the Yankees' 57 games played so far this season. He is pacing the AL. Freddie Freeman, meantime, extended his hitting streak to 19, capping a 4-hit game with an 8th-inning home run, and J.D. Martinez went deep for the 3rd straight game. Dodgers beat the Nationals 9-3. The New York Knicks will not extend the contract of general manager Scott Perry, sources told ESPN, confirming multiple reports. Sports Center is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive can protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, RV, and more. In short, a lot of things. Bundle today at progressive.com. What we consider a dynasty. G says that too much time passed between Kobe Shaq and Kobe Powell. And not only that, Phil Jackson, though he was a coach of both teams, left and then came back. I think that makes sense to say, no, those are two separate dynasties. Jay says, it's all part of the Kobe dynasty. Kobe, Phil Jackson dynasty. We're bringing this up because the Warriors just lost to the Lakers. Draymond has he can opt in, but he could also opt out this year from the Warriors. And I've always thought of the two players that are irreducibly the Warriors are Steph and Dre. And Bob Myers, the GM and architect of the whole thing, is not coming back. So is the Warriors dynasty over? Let's say Steph wins, but with a new cast of characters and a different GM, but Steve Kerr is still there, and it's 3 years from now. Is that part of the same dynasty? 888-SAY ESPN, Alex in Connecticut.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's up, Alex?
What I wanted to say, there's a couple things that are right and a couple things that are wrong, in my opinion. As far as the space between dynasties, it can't be a huge gap, or it's not considered a dynasty, because a dynasty is something that's overtaking the NBA for that period of time, and they're basically ruling the NBA. Whether they're making the finals or not, they're always in it. So the Lakers dynasty with Shaq and Kobe is different from the Lakers dynasty with Kobe and Powell. But he's also saying that it has to be more than two players that is paired up with the coach. That doesn't matter. It's if the team is in that time period for, say, less than 10 years, like less than 2 years in between, like getting to the championship, if they are still winning, whether it's a whole new cast the next year, if they subbed out the whole team and came back with a different team, it's still the team. The dynasty is about the team making
Alex,
it and everybody together.
But Alex, where have you ever seen a dynasty that loses their core and runs it back and continues to win championships or in the mix for a very long time? Whether it's the Miami Heat and Dwayne Wade and Shaq, there's a hiatus that all of a sudden led to LeBron James and them. It was an extended period of time. There was 7 years with the Lakers. There was 10 years from the Willie McGinnises and Tom Brady's of the world to Tom Brady winning another one. There was the Derek Jeter and Mario Rivera for extended period of time till they start winning more. So there's no, you can't go and think that you're going to get rid of your core and keep one guy and you still consider it a dynasty.
What about this, Key? And I know this is a million years ago, and by the way, a lot of it's before the color barrier was broken in Major League Baseball. I get it. And I said between 1920 and 1964, the Yankees won 20 World Series, right? That's 45 seasons. But I could have started, they didn't win their first, I just started when Babe Ruth got there until the last World Series appearance, right? But I could say between 1923 and 1962, that's 40 seasons, Yankees won half the World Series played. Won half the World Series played. Obviously appeared in more. But that's a lot of turnover, a lot of managers, different players. But to me, that's all one dynasty. You win 20 out of 40. You know what I mean?
That's fine, Max. I hate to say it. I wasn't born.
So you don't care?
I don't.
Yeah, I hear you. Listen, it's over 100 years ago.
And not only that,
literally.
Max.
Yeah.
Again, how many of us was actually playing?
By the way, I brought that up.
I know. I'm just saying. I can't count it.
Nevertheless,
you want to.
In other words, it's not modern sports to you. So right. Yeah.
No.
And by the way, these things and our perception of them and definitions of things change over time. Rich in New Jersey, you're on KJM.
Yeah, I just got a different take on dynasties. I think, if you go to dynasties, look back to UCLA days. They were a dynasty. They had Kareem, they had Walton, they had Swin Nader. I think it's a team is a dynasty, and the other is eras.
But wait a minute. Hold on one second, Rich. Hold on one second. They had the same coach. They had John Wooden, who it really in college, especially. That's what it revolves around, right? Doesn't it revolve around the coach?
That's to answer Keyshawn when Keyshawn says that it's a players. Well, there was a turnover. I mean, I'm just looking in college and Alabama. Granted,
yeah, but college,
Nick Saban.
College is different interpretation and definition for me, because in college you can go 4 years, you can go 3 years, a guy leaves, other guys come. You can go 2 years, guys leave, come, 3 years. That's different than the pros. In college, you're only going to be in school for 3 to 4 years, and you're still on the roster because you may have not even played as a sophomore, but all of a sudden you get your shot as a junior and a senior. And then the next guy comes and the next guy comes, and the coach is still there. So college is way different than the pros.
I agree with that. Steve in Seattle, you're on KJM, ESPN Radio.
Hey, fellas, how you doing? Love the show. Key, do you consider the 49ers a dynasty? They did it with two different quarterbacks, right?
And two different coaches.
I consider them a dynasty. I consider them a dynasty because the core of their players were still there. Steve Young was still there. Jerry Rice was still there. Joe Montana was obviously there. Roger Craig was there. Dwight Clark. I go on and on and on about the roster. When they won their Super Bowls, all those guys were still intact.
For the most part. You know what this brings up too, Key? This is interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree that a dynasty can take place even if the quarterback and coach, or even if the key player and coach changes, as long as there's continuity? So in other words, you go from one great superstar who won with a certain coach and then there's a little overlap with another great superstar on the same franchise, and they change coaches, but they remained excellent, winning championships, interspersed throughout, and it just keeps rolling because that's what happened in San Francisco.
But you got to remember, those players were still there. A key component of the players are still there.
Yeah, there was continuity the whole time. So even though
eventually
it changes everything, the star player and the coach, but there was never a clean break where now it's all new. There was overlap, and it kept rolling along.
And we're talking about a dynasty of the 80s, right? You're
Right.
talking about an era is what you're talking about, which is totally different. What we are saying, as it refers to the Golden State Warriors, and correct me if I'm wrong, that this dynasty with Clay and Steph and Draymond could potentially be over. But if Steph stays and they miss the playoffs or miss the championship for 5 years and they all of a sudden win another one, it's still a dynasty. No, it's not, because those other guys aren't there.
But
this is a new era of Warriors basketball.
But according to what you just said, it seems to me, and I'd sign up for this, that let's say they don't win a championship, but they make another deep run, and then they win a championship with Steph, but there's a whole new cast around him, and then they still are really good, and then they switch over from Kerr to another coach, and then they win another championship, and then Steph retires, and there's new players, and then they win another championship. That could all be said to be one dynasty because there were always components from the year before on the next team. There was always carryover, and it kept rolling along like it did in San Francisco between Montana and Steve Young.
Yeah, but that hiatus between Montana and Steve Young was a short window.
Yeah,
That wasn't. There
was continuity.
Extended period of time. There was
I
still
agree.
some continuity there.
I agree.
That was there. I've never seen, and particularly in basketball, where all of a sudden core pieces leave and the dynasty keep on rolling. Even when the Lakers were having their dynasties in Showtime in the 80s, Magic Johnson was still there.
Yeah, I'm trying
Michael
to think.
Cooper was still there. Okay, Pat Riley was still there. They were still there.
Yeah, I can't think of the closest is if there had been fewer years between Kobe, Shaq, and Kobe Gasol. Let's say it was 3 years instead of 7, and Phil was there the whole time. Now that would be an interesting case. That would be an interesting case.
Think about it.